Well, hi to hello. We are live. I do have a cap. Do I have to wear it? Can I just take my cap off for the night, y'all? Can I just take my cap off for the night? I have already had me a really nice long bath, and I feel clean. And I did not want to go to bed without trying to explain a few things that happened today, and then try to squash a whole lot of the things that I'm being emailed. Nothing I can't handle, friends. There's nothing that I can't handle. So if you'll give me just one half of a second or so, I'm going to grab me a cup of ice and I'm going to pour this Pepsi Zero into it, and then we'll go ahead and get started. It's nice to see you all, and thank you for joining me so late. I'm very sorry that I don't have wonderful news to bring you, but I do have news and I want to talk to you about it. Okay. For those who have not been around today, or you've been doing other stuff and you have no idea what's going on, I also included Facebook in all of this. So this may be the first whiff of folks who use Facebook only. And so you guys be patient and just let me explain everything, please. And I will do that as soon as I grab me a cup of ice. The ice is right here. I can do it without even having to stand up. There. How about that? Okay. Let me fix that. And did y'all say, can I just take my hat off? Is that okay? I know that you're used to seeing me with the hat. What I just don't want to have are all of the comments focused not on the content, but instead of all the jokes about the bald jokes or whatever. Anyway, I'm also indoors, and we were raised that for the most part, you take your hats off indoors. Not women. Women can wear hats indoors, even to church, but men take their hats off usually. But sometimes at home, we don't always adhere to that. Okay, so friends, I'm going to go ahead and just say it the way it is and then show you some little video. But everyone knows that we have this most wonderful barn kitty over at the JL Ranch North property. Her name is Barnadette. You guys named her. There's also, and she's become a very beloved character of the JL Ranch property. A lot of the times in the morning or the afternoons when we go live, a part of our routine is to walk over to her little her little she shed area, and we feed her, love on her. There are people, one lady in particular, who just has this fondness for her, who has sent her so many gifts. And you know, what I'm trying to say is Barnadette has been a big part of a lot of our day. We love visiting with Barnadette, seeing the progression of her belly getting bigger, her, because she's pregnant. We've also spotted Barnaby, which is the more than likely the daddy of all the babies who are about to be born. And so they've become a part of our life. And then for the last couple of days, and this has happened before, for the last couple of days, we haven't seen much of her. And I have cameras over there, but if the cameras only pick up motion. And there have been days that have gone by where we don't see Barnadette or Barnaby. And so Jamie's even talked about the possibility of maybe the cats actually live somewhere and they just walk over to hang out, walk over to eat. So we don't really know. But what I do know is that I'd been seeing Barnadette around a little bit lately. And then this morning, whenever we were driving along, I had the dogs with me. All of a sudden, we come across a place there in the pasture where we found a whole lot of what is cat fur. I'm going to play that video for you right now because one of the number one comment that have been brewing some of the argument back and forth is that's deer fur. That belongs to a rabbit and all kinds of things. And I just want to show you a little snippet of a video. So, and they could very well have surrounded her and at some point snatched her up. More than likely, they drug her over to here. And at this point, they pretty much did. So now that the lighting might be a little bit better than what we saw this morning, I'll absolutely allow you guys to do any kind of speculating that you want to. And pause the video right there. And I'm so sorry to have to put the side by side, but a lot, and I mean a lot of those that are most adamant are confusing Barnadette's colors. She was in fact gray and white, and the fibers that we found out in the pasture are absolutely Barnadette's colors. So I'm so sorry for the folks who were saying it's rabbit fur, or the folks who were saying it's deer, or the folks who were saying that that's just where the cows have been laying. No, that's none of those things. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be Barnadette, but what I'm saying is I'm afraid it is Barnadette. I'm absolutely afraid that it is Barnadette. So what I done was I went ahead and I played some video. A lot of people were asking that I please go ahead and continue to put out feed in her feed room, keep the camera rolling, which I have, and record what we've seen throughout the rest of the day. So if you'll give me a moment, I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit more video. Now, friends, remember something. No one has, you control your finger. You control the finger. If you don't want to watch, then stop watching. You're the one who pressed play. You're the one who pressed play. Don't act like you're being held hostage to me. Stop. That's just the nonsense of the internet. Go away. But you can see the gray. You can see the white. You can, in fact, see a lot of the colors there from our sweet girl. But not now, sir. So this right over here is the last picture that we have of Barnadette, and that was taken last night at 2:16 a.m. I don't know if you can read it on your screen, but towards the bottom of the picture, the photograph, it gives you a timestamp, a time, a date, and this is the last picture that we actually have of our sweet Barnadette. And it was taken last night at 2:16 a.m. Okay. Now my camera sits there, y'all, and it has sat there for a while. So what I've done was, oh boy. Here's what I've recorded today. So at 6:16 p.m., that right there is Barnaby. So Barnaby is in fact there inside the same room. Barnaby has come by to eat. He was there at 6:16 p.m. That's the same day, the timestamp on the bottom. And then Barnaby came back at 8:36 p.m. Like I said, the timestamp, the date, and all of the things that you need is all there posted at the bottom. And then Barnaby stuck around, and I have one more right here at 9:31 p.m. And so Barnaby is in fact still around. I'm going to go right quick and go to my camera, and I will refresh it. And those are the only pictures that the last one I have is the one that I'm just showing you right there, taken at the 9:31 mark is the last picture that my camera in the barn has taken. So I will absolutely, I'm not going to remove the camera. I'm going to keep feed out because if even if something happened to Barnadette, Barnaby is still one of our barn kitties, shown up from nowhere. We have no idea where he came from, but Barnadette and Barnaby both were just really neat to just show up one day, and we begin to love them and take care of them and feed them. And we were all so very excited to see the kittens that Barnadette was going to eventually have. So the reason that we suspect it was Coyote is because it was no more than a week ago. Some of you guys may know the exact date. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact date. But about a week ago, maybe less, we were out. We were in the pasture, and we did see 3 coyotes. I videoed the entire thing. I think that we were maybe live. I don't know that for a fact if I was live. I can't remember sometimes if I was live or if I was recording a video. But I recorded 3 coyotes running across our pasture from one side of the power lines where they cross our back property over to the other side. So I know for a fact that we have coyotes on the property. Now, I had said it plenty of times that we've never had a problem with coyotes, and I've never even seen any on that particular property. You guys do know that here at Longhorn Lester's, I'm home right now. Over here, we've had all kinds of trouble with coyotes. I mean, all kinds of problems. I think obviously the Mr. Huck was the one that you probably remember the most because of how all of that went down. But we've also lost other babies, and we've also been able to send a few coyotes to the sweet by and by. We've done that ourselves a couple of times, and we've had help from Carl and Tat with that. So there are, in fact, lots of coyotes around this area, but I had not really seen any over there until this past week. So what I did today, and I did it on a video, so in case anyone's wondering what's going on or whatever, I did go out and I set traps. Now, there's multiple kinds of traps, and anyone who knows much about nature and trapping knows there's multiple trap types. There are snare traps, the kind that's a little loop, and an animal walking down a trail walks through it, and then it will snare him by the neck and literally asphyxiate the animal. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to do anything that was going to be so inhumane. And even though we're very upset about what happened, we are still who we are, and we still have to live with ourselves. But I did find what they call the soft trap. It's a steel trap, but they close. And a lot of people were very confused because I'm guessing you've seen a lot of the old West movies where they had these giant bear traps with these claws that come by and just mangle and tear and destroy. And that's not what we're using. We did buy soft grip traps. It's much like, I'll just say, a mouse trap with a little spring action. And so if something steps on it, it will close. And all it does is holds the animal. We stake the trap into the ground using a very long 3-inch pipe that we drive into the ground, and then we secure it extra secure because sometimes that 3-inch pipe can be bent. So we secure it with a very heavy-duty tent stake. And so I did get 4 traps set out today, and I baited all of those, and we will absolutely try the best that we can to trap the coyotes and remove them from the property. As far as the people saying, could the coyotes have gotten rid of Sadie? I don't think so. Coyotes are not really known to jump on big dogs. I think that everybody who has the internet or TV has seen plenty of stories of coyotes coming into the suburbs of the cities, going through garbage, taking off with cats and small dogs. But I don't know if coyotes would have ever jumped on Sadie. I don't want to think that. I think that Sadie was picked up by somebody there at the truck stop, And we still have our fingers crossed that one day we'll see her again. A question is, could donkeys help? So I know that you guys all know about the purposes why a lot of farmers and ranchers have donkeys, because they can sometimes use their bray to alert and even scare off animals like that. So possibly, but we're not there yet. The problem with moving donkeys over to run around with our cows is the fact that we have our feed buggies, and you have to understand that your equine should not be eating the same amounts and the same kinds of feed as what your cows do. So we would have a problem if we ever try to intermingle any kind of horses with our cows, if in fact we have feed buggies on our pastures. Guys, there's a whole lot of parts of this that is the farm management part that I don't know if you really understand. It's just part of the farm management, and in this case, ranch management. And we've talked a number of times about sometimes, unfortunately, we lose babies. We've, I think the number one killer is parasites, obviously, the ones you can't see. And sometimes you have no idea that your animals have been infected until it's in fact too late. But predators has also been another factor of how we've lost a few babies here and there. Accidents happen, and you guys know. But just know that we're aware, and then we're on it. I will continue to monitor my camera, and just like you, I'm going to keep putting out food and hoping that one day I will see Barnadette reappear. And in fact, the fur that we found was from a similar animal, but not from our sweet Barnadette. But as of now, there's been no sign of Barnadette whatsoever, even though we have seen Barnaby, and they normally do kind of hang out together in the same time frame. Barnaby has been by 3 times, and Barnadette has not. So that
life together now.
Jamie says that she has pulled her life together, and now she's ready to jump on and join me. Come on in. Let's move this one chair.
Oh, you always do that.
I just don't want to sit in the corner.
I'm together enough. I took a shower, so there's that.
So Calamity Jane is fine. I know that.
Don't judge me.
We had that little bit of a scare a while back when Calamity Jane found herself on the wrong side of the fence. But and that was scary, because now that what we know now, had we known that then, it'd been a lot more terrifying. But Calamity Jane is our youngest of our Longhorns.
You want me to do you too? This
is kind of serious.
Kind of. I'm sorry.
I know you're back from vacationing, so I'm joking. But I'm going to go ahead and let Jamie talk for a little bit. She's here. She's out of the shower, and she's ready to full of jokes.
I'm not. I was just trying to lighten up the mood just a little bit, because it sucks. It sucks a lot, and it is very serious. And I know that you're on high alert, and I was mostly just trying to make you giggle a little. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all. But Calamity Jane was initially on the other side of the fence, which makes us extremely nervous for future babies. I think Calamity Jane is big enough now to be able to run to her mama, and her mama would be able to do that. But she was a newborn whenever that happened.
Yeah, so. The Longhorn, even the day that the Coyotes come across the pasture, anyone that watched that video, they know how the Longhorns all stood still, and they were on very high alert. They were watching those Coyotes. So I do not think, and of course, I guess it could always happen, but I do not think the Longhorns would ever allow anything to happen to one of those babies, because they would give them holy hell, would unleash if anything ever come out one of those babies. And the babies stay fairly close to mom. They're not newborns where mom will set them down somewhere and walk away. Something that does kind of worry me, though, is last year, you guys know how many baby deer we found on our property, where their moms would hide them for the day and walk off to graze and do what they do. And I would just rather go ahead and get rid of the coyote problem if we in fact have one, And now that we found the fiber from what we think is Barnadette, we saw the coyotes no more than a week ago, and I'm putting 1 and 1 together.
Did you tell him that I'm still holding out hope?
Yeah, a lot of people are, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I don't like seeing is all the fighting and arguing from those that are more realist compared to those that just always want a happy ending. Because in reality, not every story has a happy ending.
No,
We
sometimes you don't
lost
get that.
2 horses here over the last couple of years who we love dearly. And, as much as we all love Dixie and then Voodoo, there's not always happy endings to every story. Mr. Huck, who had an amazing life as a leader of our goats, and the end to his life and how horrific that was. So there's not always happy endings with farm life, the same way there's not always happy endings to real life for humans. So
as much as I want to hold out hope, I'm also a realist as well and know that it's quite possibly her. I really want to believe that it's not, and hope that just like last time, it'll just be a few more days and she'll show up, but there's no promises. And she is pregnant, and she is should be close to being, ready to give birth. So like, there's all these what ifs. And it was a gut wrenching moment when Lester found that today. So I don't know.
So while Jamie's here, I'll just go ahead and fill you guys in on a little bit of tidbit of information. So tomorrow morning, I will be going over to the JL Ranch early to get my chores done, and we will be going live over on I'm a Survivor channel, and we'll be checking our traps, the ones that we set out today. And so if you guys want to join for that, we will not, though, be having coffee like we do normally on our Saturday mornings, because we will, in fact, be on a road trip. We've talked about that a few times already. So Jamie and I will be on a road trip tomorrow, but she and I both have plans to take you guys along and make kind of a field trip out of it. There are people who really enjoy the little field trips that we do sometimes. And so we will be taking you all along with us on the road trip, probably a stop at Buc-ee's at some point, because we will pass a Buc-ee's.
We're going to pass 2.
We pass 2 Buc-ee's. We'll pass a tiny little Buc-ee's, the smallest Buc-ee's in Texas. And we'll also pass a very large one of the largest Buc-ee's in Texas. And we'll probably end up stopping twice. Why not? Why not?
They have great bathrooms and
Yes.
snacks. No, but I kind of like always in my life, I enjoy getting lost on purpose. And Lester does not, like, he is not about that most of the time, but I have convinced him tomorrow that we are going to do a road trip that is not timed and there's no pressure. I did not put an end point in that, because our end point, did you tell them this part already? That our end point is actually not till.
Well, so obviously with the fact that we have animals and you have a real job, there's always an end point.
Yeah, but I just meant like tomorrow tomorrow we have help. So we are taking the day.
Yes.
And that day doesn't have a time. We don't have an itinerary, if that makes any sense. And I'm excited about that. And we're going to bring you along. And sometimes that means on road trips, just like when we went to, the
RV show.
Yeah.
The rodeo.
But we also went to that one night we went to the casino for our anniversary, and we stopped at this really cute boutique that we just saw on the way. I don't know what is in store for tomorrow, but I hope that there's some on the ways that we stop and swing in and explore. And that is my hope tomorrow. The weather is supposed to be 80 and sunny, and that's going to be fun. Really fun.
Yep. And then, so that will be tomorrow. But like Jamie said, we have secured house sitters, so you don't have to worry about the animals. Everyone's going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fed and watered and protected. So you don't have to worry about any of that. All right. So anywho's, that's exciting. But like we said, we've enjoyed doing field trips.
Yeah.
And I think from what I read, a lot of you guys do as well. But remember, anyone that doesn't, it's you control what you watch. You control start, you control stop, you control swipe left or swipe right. Okay, you control that. No one's forcing you to do anything for those who don't. All right.
Y'all are coming on our day date with us.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that because it's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks, to be honest.
Yeah. No, having there's I mean, you always enjoy people, but there hasn't been any time and like everything has happened to throw off the routine. But I think that as soon as you say it, God forbid something horrible happen. I don't want to, they knock on wood, but we did. We've had visitors.
We've had
birthday parties. We had life events. We've had situations that, so it's time for just an overnight getaway. So, all righty. So that's what we got. That's what I wanted to let you all know.
So a recap, no coffee tomorrow, but Lester will go live on I'm a Survivor in the morning to check his coyote traps. And then throughout the day, you can expect some field trip adventure lives randomly. And we do not have a set time for those. We do not have a set plan for those. It is as spontaneous as like the reality of the live spontaneous is as spontaneous as the adventure for us. We're just leaving.
Someone says, don't take your cell phones. Yeah, fat chance. We make a living off of our cell phones. We're taking our cell phones.
There's no way that I will. No.
There's no way.
No, there's way too much going on back at home. There's way too much that could happen even here. Like I don't live a life that could be even work. I work 24/7, 365.
And we have kids.
Yes.
And we have a family and we have animals and we have dogs here. And there's no way that would be foolish. That would be foolish to leave your phones behind. But I'll tell you what we do is that we put our phones away at dinner. Yeah. Jamie and I are not the ones who sit there. And I sometimes I look over at other tables while we're eating and I'm just like, look at this couple sitting there, each on their own phone, lost in their own phone. Even my dad, I love my dad, but my dad can go anywhere and he's just lost on his phone. He's discovered the internet. He's discovered an audience. He's discovered email and he has just found himself escaping into his phone. Tell me. Jamie's gonna send someone to the sweet by and by. Jamie's gonna send someone to the sweet by and by. So
yeah, it is. It's been a week. And for reference, we already had thoughts of this weekend in mind before all of this stuff went down. So we kind of already had asked for help. And because do I really want to be home for 24 hours and pack it up and leave again? No. But at the same time, when all of the other stars align, you kind of have to take the opportunity. So we are going to do some things tomorrow. And then Jamie, did you see Lester's live last night? What happened on your live last night? I only saw a snippet.
That was the one where I invited 10 people to come on and talk and share a piece of their story with me.
I did not get to see all of that. So
it was a tearjerker, though. I tell you what, I talked about that this morning, how I laid in bed this morning watching the replay of that. And just, it was like pretty sickening to watch me sit there and cry in bed like some kind of a loser.
Not a loser. That's really sweet.
Anyway, well, listen, it was not our intention to keep you guys all night. I just wanted to share that information with you all about Barnadette. I'm going to go ahead and play that one last time because there's people jumping on right now who have no idea what's going on. And I'll simply play that little video snippet. If you've already seen it, you've seen enough, then by all means, you guys go have yourself a wonderful evening. And what's wrong? I know. Let me, before I leave, before I leave, could you just tell everybody real fast about the blessing that was when it came to the tree and the amount of money that the guy's going to charge to cut the tree with Xander's home? Do you want to talk about anything about that, or leave it to them, to the kids?
They were kind of going to tell their story around
Okay.
that, if that's okay.
Okay.
They are getting the tree removed off their house on Monday, and it was insanely expensive. But
and then something funny that happened. Two things funny that happened, but not really that funny. I'd worked so hard all week long in keeping all of the chicks alive, the baby chicks. And you guys know that I made it my mission to not only keep the chicks alive, but also keep the garden alive. And right now is a very vulnerable time because you have so many seedlings, I think you call them, that are just popping up. And guys, it's been 80, 85 degrees by day, no rain whatsoever, which has been nice. Don't get me wrong. We're ready for spring. But that means that you have to start watering those things, especially when those seedlings pop up. They need to be watered.
Very vulnerable. And it was like a time where I'm like, you know what, this is family first, and that's what we got to do. And I just told Lester, I was like, just do the best you can. And then I made him a map and I highlighted things to be like, these are the most critical parts.
But I was just so excited that I felt like, for the most part, as hard as it was, everything had gotten done. Everything was done. And then Jamie sent me a text this morning early, and it said, we have a casualty. And I was just crushed because in my mind, I immediately thought, oh no, it's one of those chicks. And even though I don't know all their names, and sometimes we all know that right now they're sweet and cute, but eventually they're all going to be dead to me anyway. But she said, we have a casualty. And it just broke my heart. She didn't send a picture. There was no video.
Let me tell my part of the story first. Okay. So I was not supposed to come home until this morning. And last night I found myself just anxious to get home. Like, I was exhausted. I've been sleeping on an air mattress at my mom's house. My neck hurt. My body hurts, working hard all week. And I just was anxious. And there was a flight that I actually was going to have time to catch. The catch was that I had to fly to the opposite airport in Houston and then take a cab to get back to my car. So it was going to be super late. And Lester was like, I'll be at the jail north and I'll just catch you in the morning. That way we can spend more time during the day together. I'll just do my chores really early and get home to you. And I was like, no problem. So by the time I got home, it was like 2:00 in the morning. It was super, super late. And after I fly like that and get home while I'm exhausted, I have a really hard time unwinding from everything. So I decided to make my night rounds and do all my things and check plants, check everything. This is with a flashlight. I'm in the horse pasture, the whole bit. I'm counting my chickens, all the things. And I come in and I see that we have a casualty.
However,
I text him.
It was not the fish. It's not
Bruce.
Bruce
I text
fine.
him, and I also made a video that I thought that I sent to him.
Thank you, Paula. You called it. And yes, the casualty was the fact that we lost a shrimp.
Yeah.
And, but
when Lester came home this morning,
he
didn't know that it was a shrimp because my video, I guess, never went through, or I don't know. My brain was done working at that point in time. So we're in the bathroom because I pulled the chicks in because it was cold last night. And he's like, all right, just tell me which one. And he's so emotional. And
I was
like,
just hoping it wasn't the bald eagle or peapat, because I really have kind of found myself attached to those.
So he's like devastated. I'm like, what? No, it was the shrimp. And he's like, why would you do that to me? He's like, I've been stressed since I read the text. I couldn't even bring myself to ask the question. I'm like, you love the chickens. Yeah.
I thought it was the chickens. No, but I knew because I did a lot of things that was risky with the chickens. I'm not going to lie. I did a lot of things that was risky, as far as not only did I combine the two flocks, then I also allow them to all sleep outside together in the shop and not inside the house where it's warmer. And then I've also moved them to the halfway house by day. So we've been doing a lot, or I've been doing a lot with the chickens, things that are kind of out of my comfort zone, but trying to think, if I were a chick, how would I want to be treated?
That has so many. There's
Well,
so many things that could come from what you just said right now.
If I was a chick, how would I want to be treated? Would I want to be cooped up all the time? Hell no. Would I want to be able to get out and roam around a little bit? Hell yeah. I mean, if I was a chick. So I did all of the things that I thought the chick might like. I was being a really good guy to the chicks.
Chicken keeper.
The chicken keeper, yes. Anyway, I just had thought that in some of that, I had ended up killing a chick, and it really, really bothered me. But no, it was just the fact that one of the the shrimp. It was a shrimp, and but all is fine. I'm sorry to say, but I was not attached to the shrimp. Okay.
It was a very sweet gesture from Stephanie, but honestly, they couldn't keep up in the tank at all. But it's okay. It's okay. It was just a shrimp, and
Someone says shrimp lives matter. Shrimp lives do matter, and I'm so sorry that I was unable to save the shrimp from that untimely death.
Yeah.
But that shrimp did clog up the filter and made quite the mess. I thought I was going to end up killing Brucey as well. And that scared me because Jamie is a lot more aware of when that tank needs to be cleaned. And then it wasn't until today, reading the comments, I almost used like bleach to clean it. And boy, I'm glad I didn't, because I saw a lot of folks who were giving me all kinds of pointers on, if I did clean it, how to do it the right way. So
Melinda says you need a filter for that tank. We have a filter. It's running quite perfectly now.
Now it's running great.
Yeah.
Because it's not clogged up by shrimp.
I heard that you did a really lovely live while you cleaned out that fish tank.
That's kind of embarrassing. That's an embarrassing story. Do I have to talk about that? A couple of embarrassing things happened. I did go out one day to eat, and I took time to shave my head. I kind of shaved. I trimmed everything up. I just wanted to look good and look clean. And I put on deodorant. I brushed my teeth, and everything was wonderful. I felt like $1,000,000. And I had to go by, get my truck's oil changed. And I didn't mind sitting there in the lobby while they changed my oil, because I felt good. I build my videos, working from my phone. And I thought, you know what, while I'm out, since I have been so hungry lately and I haven't really had a really good meal, I thought I would just swing by and get me some Chinese fried rice. But when I looked into the mirror of the truck, I did not realize it. But the same way that you can sometimes get a couple of little loose hairs here and there, I noticed I had some hairs that were coming out of my ears. And I'm like, oh, I almost said a bad word, Jamie. I said, F no, F no. And so I'm trying to take my fingers and pluck these hairs that I could see, because listen, here's the crazy thing. From here at the house, our lighting is not as good as I needed. But from the truck, the way the light was coming through the windshield, I could see everything. And I noticed some hairs in my ears that I did not notice before. And I had no tweezers. I could not grab them with my fingers. So I came up with a very, very genius plan that actually worked. I took some chapstick. I just took some chapstick on my hand like this. Well, I rubbed the chapstick like that, then took my finger and I literally combed the hairs down in my ears. So I don't know.
You slicked back your ear hairs.
I don't know if the waitresses noticed or not that my ears were a little bit shinier than normal.
So many people say they pluck their husbands. Okay, normally I do too, but I wasn't here to assess the situation, and he had to use chapstick to slick back his ear hairs.
But it did work. So just in case you're ever out and about and all you have is chapstick, it does work. Chapstick does work. I'm just saying.
What was the second embarrassing thing?
You're going to make me talk about that? So I was going to clean out the aquarium on a live video. That was my plan. And I took my laptop over, and I did not have on my glasses, which is my problem. I get the laptop all set up. I get the live all set up. I'm literally watching comments all over the place. What I did not realize, though, is that was comments that were from the green room, which is before the live even starts. Guys, I was not myself. I've been beside myself. I was just so stressed with everything that I never actually clicked live or go live. I never clicked it. So I'm sitting there for an entire 40, 45 minutes, and I'm sitting there doing this great live video, seeing the comments flying by. Couldn't read a darn thing.
Talking to everybody.
Well, I wasn't talking to anyone in particular, but I'm talking to the group about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to do that. And then all of a sudden, when I finally finished it, I looked and I saw where it said start live. I'm like, oh my God. I never started the live. I never even started it. So that was a lot of people were saying, hey, where's the live? So the whole time, I'm guessing you guys are just talking to each other in the comments like you do, get to know each other, whatever. And the whole time I'm thinking that I'm on a live video, and I never started it. But I'll tell you what, you get out of your routine. Sometimes things in life can throw you off a little bit. And I was absolutely thrown off this week. But that was my blonde move, says Lynn.
Listen, I had the same exact thing. So I told you this, that the Red Cross came over, and it was a very like surprise thing that they were coming. And we were trying to beat this storm that was coming in and get stuff in the pod, and I'm shuffling around, and I'll be honest, I was a little bothered because I didn't shoot. The person was asking me like name, address, phone number, birth date, for everybody in the house.
Well, just understand, if you had called them yourself, it would have been one thing. But to have someone else go and call for you during a time when you just didn't really have time.
And I didn't know their intention or what, I don't know anything about the Red Cross, whatever. So other than that, like, you can donate blood to them, right? Like that's in my head. But I didn't want to say that in the moment. So I'm a little annoyed. And then I was a little humbled because all of a sudden at the end of the conversation, the lady hands us these bags that include blankets and toiletries, and she brought dog food for the dogs and gave us a list of all of these resources for, mental health help and all these things. And I was very humbled, and I started to tear up and cry. Not big cry, just like I got emotional. And she's like, that's why I give free hugs here. Come here. We're used to it. This is normal. And I said, I just feel so dumb because the only thing I know about the Red Cross is that y'all ring the bells at Christmas at all the stores. And she goes, oh, honey, that's the Salvation Army. And I was like, oh my God, like it just kept getting worse. Like there was just nothing that I could do to make that moment better. And well, that was my embarrassing moment for the week.
I have a couple of funny things. Well, first of all, Lisa Calvert sent me $19.
Aww.
She goes, thank you for being you, Lester.
We'll get him some ear hair control.
Lisa, here's a funny story that I'll tell you. And listen, please don't do that, because you don't. I want you to spend your money on you, Miss Lisa. I thank you. Thank you, but please don't. But listen, I'll tell you a funny story. I think I've told the story before, but maybe not to Lisa. We had gone to a restaurant to eat, and the waitress was really good. She was very attentive. And, I'm like you guys, I tip a percentage, usually higher instead of lower. But this waitress was really good, really good. And so whenever she brought the ticket, I went ahead and did all the credit card stuff, whatever. And I said, but listen, I says, here's an extra 20 for you. I says, you did a really good job. I says, go do something nice for yourself. This one over here looks at me. She wasn't mad that I gave the lady a 20. What she was mad about is I said, go do something nice for yourself.
But you followed it up. Hold on. You followed it up and said, like, get your nails done or your hair done. And like, yes, you can do something nice for yourself with $20. You can't do those two items.
I didn't know. I did not know. I thought like getting your nails done was like $10. I did not know. I didn't know it cost so much to do everything. So I had no idea that me giving the lady what I thought was a really nice, kind $20 to
it was nice and kind.
Go do something nice for yourself. Here you go.
But she was probably thinking like, I can have
what
my
the hell am I
can
gonna
have
do
my
with $20?
5-year-old niece do my nails for $20. You know, like it was an extra follow-up. It was a very sweet gesture, and she was very grateful. But yeah, Lester was a little behind the times on that.
I'm way behind on the times. And then Jamie posted something on Facebook, and it said it was about what you preferred to be called or what you wanted to be called when you became a grandparent.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the funniest things there was two that were really, really funny that I thought were just hilarious. One person said that her husband, because he is he has his own boat,
yeah.
his sailboat. He wanted the grandkids to call him Captain. Captain. What he wanted to be called. You're going to call me Captain because I have a sailboat. And ended up to where you guys say that, kids are going to call you what they want to. So one of the kids did end up calling him Captain, yet the other child called him Ding Ding. And to this day, that child is almost grown now and still calls that man Ding Ding.
I thought it
for
was
no reason.
I thought it was hilarious.
There's no reason. But instead of calling him Captain, calls him Ding Ding.
I got the giggles when I was reading it, and I couldn't hardly get it out to read it to Lester because I laughed so hard, because that's probably what's going to happen to Lester.
Yeah, I'm like, pee-pop, pee-pee.
Yeah.
No, pee-pop, pee-pee. No, pee-pop, pee-pee. I can already hear it now.
I just want to encourage Ding Ding now. Like, that's the name I really want you to have.
Do you remember there was another one that was really funny that you called my attention to. I just forgot what it was about. You don't remember that one offhand? There was two. Now listen, they were all cute. I
took the one about
about
the kid and that one.
No.
I'll look for it.
It's okay. You don't have to. I just thought we might could remember it.
I don't remember it, but let me look. It was really cute.
But no, it was just how sometimes you have all of these plans for what your what your grandparent name is going to be. And I was like, Pee-Pop sounds pretty cool. And then when I'm in a bad mood, you're going to call me Pee-Pap. And I'm going to get as close to Pee-Pat as possible. And I'm thinking that I'm also going to probably...
That one?
No, it was about the man. It was about the man and how the kids can sometimes call him different things.
How Jalen calls her grandparents.
What?
So my niece Jalen was the oldest grandchild on her mom's side.
Oh, yes. It was a personal story.
And Jessica reminded me of this. She sent the message and she goes, if you let the kid pick, you're going to end up like names like my parents. She has a Damaw and a Tadpole. Her grandpa's name is Tadpole.
Yeah, and Grandpa always says, call me Grandpa. And somehow the child translated that to Tadpole.
Yeah.
And now to this day, that child calls Grandpa Tadpole.
Damaw and Tadpole.
Oh. So it doesn't really matter what we want to be called from what we found out from most people.
Yeah.
That's nice to think about it, but when it's all said and done, they're going to call you whatever the hell they want to, and you ain't going to change it. So
I still think that the Ding Ding is top notch, and I hope that somehow whatever you pick translates to Ding Ding, because that one is the funniest one of all time. It's been a really a roller coaster of a day and a week of emotions all over the place with everything that's been going on. And I know that so many people are in such similar situations with it, but I will tell you, like, the highlight for me is knowing that there's a baby on the way. Like, that's something that is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting, but it's also scary.
It's very scary. It's terrifying, but
And then, I think it would have been a whole lot more exciting for the kids, especially if their life had not been
Oh my
turned
gosh.
upside down,
Yes.
because now they're going to probably be in that garage well past time that baby's here. So
They
they're going
had
to
that
end up,
realization yesterday, and that was one of the most defeating parts of the week, to be
yeah, because
honest.
things like that don't happen overnight. If they have to get that house rebuilt or whatever they were going to do, demolish or restart, I don't know. But there's no way they're going to be out of that garage by the time that baby comes. And so that's going to make it, boy, talk about, lack of sleep. And I already know Xander can get pretty darn cranky. So
both of them love their
Kendra,
sleep.
Kendra's
And
a sleeper too.
yeah, they both enjoy sleep a lot. And I was like, I hope that you get it now. Like, I hope that you soak it all up now.
Yeah.
But I think back to probably when I was born and things that I didn't know at the time, but know now, of what little that they got by on, and how it didn't take a fancy, baby nursery and all of those things to be able to raise a kid. And I know that they're not those type of people anyway, but I think the stress of the unknown is really heavy on them right now, for sure.
Yeah. And then the lady who's asked a couple of times about insurance to pay for the tree. Well, the insurance adjuster won't even go into the house as long as the tree's on it. So
there's a lot of things in the works, y'all, but it's so complicated.
Yeah.
And they're safe. That's what we have to keep saying.
They're safe.
They're safe.
And we don't want to tell their story. If Xander and Kendra do in fact want to come on and tell their story, then we'll leave that for them to tell. We're big on that, letting people tell their own stories.
Yeah.
But listen, it's late. We've had you guys for a long time. I do want to go ahead though, and for anyone who jumped on very, very late, and that's fine. People come on at different times. I just want to remind you guys that we did have what I'm afraid was a horrible incident today. And I do believe that the barn kitty, the one that we call Barnadette, she's no longer with us. And the reason I say that, and I'll go ahead and play you a short little video in just a moment. For those who've already seen it and you don't want to watch it again, you don't have to. But we noticed that we had some coyotes on the property a couple of days back. And then we, this morning when we were out doing the cows, we ran across a lot of fur, and it looked just like Barnadette's fur. And I'm pretty certain that it is cat fur. So we are afraid that we lost our Barnadette to the coyotes. But what I did do is go by and set out some traps, and I'm going to try to rid the property of the coyotes, because like I said, not only did we really love this cat, but we also have baby calves, we have horses, we have cows, and we have animals there, and we have deer who have their babies there. So we just want to go ahead and try to get rid of the predators if we can. So just be aware of that's why we came on the live tonight, to explain to you that sometimes when you break a story too soon, which might be what happens a lot with mainstream media, you want to be the first one to break a story, breaking news. But many times you don't have all the facts.
Yeah.
You don't have all the facts. And so today, while I'm on a live video, no time to think about it, no time to edit, no time to do anything. I'm on a live video and I run across this, all of this fur. And so I don't have the best of vision, but I could tell right away the color of this fur, and I know what kind of fur it is. And I just knew it was Barnadette. And what I ended up doing, without showing everybody the evidence, the proof that I saw, I ended up getting the internet set ablaze. And I probably should have gotten all my facts straight first. So let me just show you now what I've put together later throughout the day. Okay. And then I will promise you, I'll be letting you guys
And they could very well have surrounded.
So if you notice, there's fiber all over the ground. It's in a large area. I don't pick up all of it. I pick up pieces of it.
And they could very well have surrounded her and at some point snatched her up. More than likely, they drug her over to here. And at this point, they pretty much did. So now that the lighting might be a little bit better than what we saw this morning, I'll absolutely allow you guys to do any kind of speculating that you want to. But you can see.
So I thought that was important right there to put kind of the side by side, because when you saw Barnadette inside the dark barn, you really couldn't tell that she did have quite a bit of white, and there was some white on her. Now, listen, like Jamie said, we're just hoping that it's not. But as of now, we've not seen Barnadette, and we have seen her partner, but we've not seen Barnadette. So that right there is just kind of a side by side, and that's why I did it, so you can see how similar the colors are.
See the gray, you can see the white. You can in fact see a lot of the colors there from our sweet girl. But not now, sir.
And so this here was the last picture that my camera there at the property took of Barnadette. And that was at 2:16 a.m. And then this over here was today. A lot of people were asking to continue to put the feed out and see if Barnadette comes back. And maybe if we get a chance to see her, then it wasn't her. So this is at 6:16, but that's Barnaby, her partner. That's not Barnadette. And then later today at 8:36, that's also Barnaby, her partner. He come back to eat again. And then one last picture at 9:31, he came back to eat a final time. So Barnaby is fine, but Barnadette, I am afraid, is no longer with us. So we're sorry. But like I said today in that same live, I'm happy that Barnadette had got to experience what a full belly felt like, because, we kept her fed. The sweet lady who bought her a little house with a warm like a heating pad to keep her warm in those cold nights, also bought her a kitty tower that she could play on. Barnadette was loved. She got to, she knows what it's like to have someone pet her on a daily basis. And she was, she knew that we looked forward to seeing her. So there are still people in the comments who are insisting that's rabbit fur. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to call you a city slicker, but that's not rabbit fur. So that was indeed cat fur. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of you, but I think it's a way to maybe convince your mind that what we think happened did not, and that's fine. But no. Anyway, that's why we went live tonight. Glad Jamie's back home. We're going to be having house sitter tomorrow so we can take a road trip, but we promise we'll be bringing you guys along. We don't know exactly what we're going to get ourselves into, but we're going to call it a fun day with a field trip. And yeah, so I can't even tell you what time. All I do know is that Jamie already said it, that in the morning we will go live to check our traps. We'll do that early, around 8. And then we're going to get on the road pretty early. And then we will not be having coffee like we like to do on Saturdays.
Oh, we're going to have coffee.
We'll have coffee.
Just not with you.
But we will not be having coffee with you all.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, we'll be driving. but not to worry, because we'll be taking you off to a destination where you'll join us later that during the day, which will be a lot of fun. And then we'll have a good time and we can relax a little bit. Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for watching. We love you so very much. We will have our coffee on the road. Absolutely. Yes. Hopefully some Fritos and some bean dip if I'm lucky.
It's a big day.
All right. We will not be skipping coffee. Absolutely not. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. We love you so very much. And we will catch you guys on the next video.
Good night, y'all.
All right.